All right, so at this point, we both leave because someone else comes to the podium. So we've got to both exit. We're starting.
Good morning. On behalf of the Harford County Chamber of Commerce, I think I do. Good morning. On behalf of the Harford County Chamber of Commerce and the Military Affairs Committee, I would like to welcome you to the 44th Annual Military Appreciation Event. My name is Sue Manning, Director of Business Development for Freedom Federal Credit Union and co-chair of the Harford County Chamber of Commerce Military Affairs Committee. It is my pleasure to be your MC for this great event, along with Karen Holt, Harford County Deputy Director of Community and Economic Development and Federal Installation Administrator. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and join us for a rendition of our national anthem performed by Courtney White Gilbert, followed by the invocation given by Chaplain Major Denise Hagler.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, their bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet
pray in your tradition as I pray in mine. Let us pray. Heavenly Father and gracious Lord of our lives, we thank you for another day you have given to us. We thank you for your grace and mercy, for you woke us up this morning and started us on our way. Come into our midst as we gather together on this military appreciation celebration, as we remember our military forces and those who have contributed to our freedoms and made the ultimate sacrifices for God and country. Bless all who have come to support on this special occasion with your spirit of joy, peace, and love. I pray these things in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. In Jesus' name, amen. God bless you.
Thank you, Courtney and Chaplain Hagler, for your heartfelt contributions to begin our program. If you're standing, please be seated. It is my honor to introduce our distinguished guests with us today. We're joined by many elected officials and their representatives and by senior leaders of Aberdeen Proving Ground. Since our audience is muted, please hold your air applause to the end. With us today, we have Harford County Executive Barry Glassman, our keynote speaker, Major General retired Dr. Linda Singh. From the Maryland General Assembly, we have Senators Bob Cassilly and Jason Gallion, Delegates Mike Griffith, Steve Johnson, Susan McComas, and Teresa Reilly. From the Harford County Council, we have Council President Pat Vincenti and Councilman Curtis Beulah and Andre Johnson. From Harford County Government, we have Billy Boniface, Chief Advisor to the County Executive, and Lynn Parrish, Director of Community and Economic Development. From the Town of Bel Air, Mayor Amy Chmielewski, the City of Aberdeen, Mayor Patrick McGrady, the City of Havre, Mayor Bill Martin, and from Harford Community College, President Dr. Teresa Felder, Harford County Public Schools Superintendent Dr. Sean Bolson, President of the Harford County Public Library, Mary Hassler, and University of Maryland Upper Chesapeake Health President, CEO, Lyle Sheldon. Thank you to the members of CCOM and APG Garrison staff for their support of today's event. We have a great lineup for you today with all the elements you've come to expect from our annual appreciation event. We're in our second year with our virtual program, and we look forward to celebrating next year in person with you. A special thanks again to our sponsors who have made this event possible. Freedom Federal Credit Union, APG Federal Credit Union, Chosen Community Development Corporation, Chesapeake Bank of Maryland, Battelle, Katz Abosh, Harford Community College, Army Alliance, Inc., Harford County Office of Community and Economic Development, Elegant Restoration, Jarrettsville Federal, Melnick and Wiseman, Major General Harry Green, Aberdeen AUSA Chapter, and Service Engineering. Thank you for supporting today as we celebrate our great American defense community.
It is my pleasure to introduce County Executive Barry Glassman to offer welcoming remarks. Barry.
Thank you. Good morning. Harford County soldiers, veterans, businesses, and community leaders. Welcome to the 44th Annual Military Appreciation Event hosted by Harford County's Chamber Military Affairs Committee. This year's theme, Emergence, Army Strong, is both timely and impactful to us all. As we emerge from the global pandemic, we can reflect on the significance of our Army, Aberdeen Proving Ground, and our great American defense community. We have sustained our mission, are maintained our readiness, and are providing critical supports for logistics of the vaccination administration nationwide. Whether civilian, DOD, active military, veteran, we are one defense community, emerging from this challenge like no others, stronger, resilient, and unified On behalf of the citizens of Harford County, thank you for what you do. Thank you for what you've done and what you will do for this community, this state, and our country. Harford County is proud of our history and heritage as a defense community. We value our military connection and play host to a community who embraces continued support of our military and, most importantly, of our veterans. Thank you again for your service and enjoy today's program. Everyone, continue to be safe and God bless you.
Thank you, County Executive Glassman. It is my honor now to welcome Major General Mitch Kilgo to offer remarks on behalf of Aberdeen Proving Ground.
Good morning. Thank you all for joining us today, and thanks, Sue, for the introduction. County Executive Glassman, Mr. McPherson, Major General Retired Dr. Singh, thank you for being with us today. Welcome to this celebration of the great relationship between the citizens and businesses of Harford County and the military. Thank you to the Chamber and Angela Rose for organizing this important event, and to Freedom Federal Credit Union for your premier sponsorship of this event. Thank you all, thanks to you all, and our local APG connected organizations for joining us today. Thank you to any Gold Star family members and wounded warriors who have tuned in today. When we celebrate our military, we also celebrate you and all you have given for our great nation. You are and will always be a part of the APG family, and we are honored to have you join us today. A year after the COVID-19 pandemic swept the globe, we still find ourselves in a virtual space. I know many of you, like me, had hoped we would be back together in person this year. While I am grateful for the advances in technology allowing us to still hold events like this, I will admit I'm ready for a good hearty chest bump or a firm handshake or two. And Mr. Glassman, that chest bump is for you, so it's coming. Over this past year, we have all been tested in ways we never could have imagined. Yet, we continue to persevere. Through our combined efforts, each day, we get a little closer to some semblance of normalcy. Author Isabel Allende once said, "We don't even know how strong we are until we are forced to bring that hidden strength forward. In times of tragedy, of war, of necessity, people do amazing things. The human capacity for survival and renewal is awesome," end quote. At APG, we have been fortunate to have some of the Army's best minds in disease control and prevention. Organizations across APG have leveraged their unique capabilities to respond to the pandemic, and we would be remiss if we failed to note the large part the Army played in vaccine production. The Medical Research Institute of Chemical Defense and the Joint Program Executive Office for Chemical, Biological, Radiological, and Nuclear Defense have both made extensive contributions to creating COVID-19 vaccines and therapeutics at unprecedented speed. The Army Contracting Command branch at APG has led the complex process to procure vaccines and therapeutics for the U.S. population as well. The APG C5ISR community came together to create the C5ISR Rapid Equipping Team, which quickly stood up and sustained communications and mission command systems for U.S. Army North and National Guard units assisting local and state governments at the height of the pandemic. The Combat Capabilities Development Command used 3D printing to create PPE for first responders during the initial shortage. Since the virus arrived, we've continually collaborated on a robust protection and recovery scheme in consultation with the garrison commander and senior leaders from across the installation. These decisions were guided by hard science, DoD policy, and 4 core criteria, including the local case rate and the region's capacity to test, treat, and monitor. I would like to also acknowledge our county leaders for their steadfast COVID-19 response. You all worked diligently to ensure the safety of this county during the pandemic. I commend our Harford County leaders' commitment to ensuring vaccines reach the most vulnerable citizens. I know that through the efforts of the Harford County Executive and the Harford County Council and County Executive, the mass vaccination site at Ripken Stadium was established to help ensure vaccines reach as many residents of Harford County and surrounding areas as possible. At APG, our Kurt Army Health Clinic is also in the process of inoculating our population in keeping with DOD and CDC prioritization guidelines. There's still a long way to go, but I'm grateful we're beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Despite the difficulties we've faced the past year and the realignment of some of our priorities, it's been inspiring to witness the many ways our community has stepped up and adapted to ensure the continuity of our operations. Our commitment to ensure our nation's sons and daughters are equipped with the very best. As the Army's home of innovation, our installation is central to the Army's priority of modernization and the ability to dominate the 21st century battlefield. In fact, the effort codenamed Project Convergence, a modernization effort focused on integrating new capabilities across the joint forces, takes place here at APG's new Joint Systems Integration Lab. This lab, managed by Futures Command, replicates a realistic tactical network environment so we can understand how varying conditions affect systems' resilience and reliability. Across the Army, we take nothing for granted. We recognize that the freedoms we enjoy in our great nation could easily be fleeting. And we have real, committed adversaries with growing power who love nothing more than to take them all away. With every test shot we fire and every lab experiment that leads to the next scientific breakthrough, APG is doing the hard work, the preparation, to ensure that when our soldiers step onto the battlefield, no enemy can match them and they can come home safely. Thank you for continuing to honor and support our warfighters. Thank you all for continuing to demonstrate your appreciation for our military with the great relationship between Harford County and APG and the partnerships that have resulted. I look forward to honoring our non-commissioned officer of the year and our soldier of the year later today. Thank you all again for being here. People first, winning matters, Army strong.
Thank you, General Kilgo, for your remarks. Our community values its partnership with APG. And earlier this week, proclamations were signed and will be delivered to the APG leadership in honor of the installation's contribution to our country and municipalities. We thank the Harford County Administration, the City of Aberdeen, the City of Havre, and the Town of Bel Air for recognizing APG's contributions to our community.
It is my honor to recognize the active duty servicemen and women in attendance with us today. Additionally, there are many among us who may no longer wear the uniform, but will forever remain soldiers for life. To honor your service, both past and present, we offer our sincerest appreciation for your active military, reserve, and veterans in each military branch. To make this program a little more interactive, simply wave when you hear your service branch announced. The United States Army, the United States Marine Corps, the United States Navy, the United States Air Force, the United States Coast Guard. Thank you for your service to our country. All right, great job. Thank you for your service. And in past years, we've had a special guest of honor, World War II veteran William Cruz. Sadly, Mr. Cruz passed away in January of this year. William Cruz began his naval career with training at Bainbridge Naval Center in Cecil County, Maryland. And after training, he was assigned as a seaman first class to the USS Haas and headed to Texas for additional training and was aboard ship when it was commissioned. William Cruz received the Pacific Theater Ribbon, American Theater Ribbon, Victory Medal, and the Philippine Liberation Ribbon, 1 star. It is our honor to recognize Mr. Cruz today in memoriam. May Mr. Cruz's family take comfort in his service to our country.
Harford County lost another true patriot this year with the passing of James Captain Jim McMahon in April. Captain Jim's service to this community spanned decades. He served as a Harford County Council member from 2006 to 2018, was active with the Harford County Commission on Veterans Affairs, and established the annual Veterans Resource Fair. A decorated Army veteran, Captain Jim's lifetime of service to the country and county will be memorialized in the proposed renaming of our local Veterans Commission to the James V. Captain Jim McMahon Harford Commission on Veterans Affairs, to be acted upon by the Harford County Council on June 8th. In addition, he was presented a Harford County proclamation naming him a Harford County Living Treasure in January 2021.
We are also honored to recognize Sergeant Alfred B. Hilton. Sergeant Hilton is Harford's only Native Medal of Honor recipient, an African-American Union Army soldier color sergeant who met his fate defending the colors at the Battle of New Market Heights, also known as Chaffin's Farm. When Sergeant Hilton encountered the seriously wounded regimental flag bearer, rather than allow the flag of the 4th USCT to touch the ground, Hilton relieved his comrade and carried both flags as he fought his way up the slope in the face of artillery and gunfire. In his honor, Harford County Parks and Rec has dedicated a Civil War-themed playground in a park bearing his namesake near his childhood home of Gravel Hill in Havre. A groundbreaking for a Sergeant Hilton monument hosted by the Alfred B. Hilton Memorial Foundation occurred last Friday in the David R. Craig Community Park in Havre. The American Legion Bel Air Post number 55 has been renamed in his honor, and a mural depicting the Battle of Chaffin's Farm will decorate an exterior wall of its building in Bel Air. Additionally, the Route 22 overpass of I-95 in Aberdeen has been named in his honor. Across the county, we honor the legacy and sacrifice of Sergeant Alfred B. Hilton, preserving the contributions of Harford County's only Medal of Honor recipient for generations to come. Now I welcome Mike McPherson, President of Freedom Federal Credit Union, as today's premier sponsor to offer remarks. Mike?
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Every year when this event rolls around, I can't help but think about my father. He served in the Navy during World War II as a radio man on an LST, which he always told me stood for Large Standing Target. He even had a local connection because the radio school he went to was up in Bainbridge. Now, he never really talked about that time, at least to me, and maybe that's because I didn't come along for another 14 years. But over time, I heard little tidbits here and there, like how he could decipher 3 Morse code messages simultaneously, how during the Battle of Iwo Jima, he climbed a tower on the LST in order to fix the radio while bullets and bombs whizzed past his head. I heard about a letter of commendation. I even heard about a still, and that's where I learned that raisins are more than just an afternoon snack. The one thing I do remember him talking about, though, was people and the way they came together. Men and women from all walks of life, be they on land, sea, or air, or even the people at home, coming together. And I understood the message that he was trying to convey to me, which was about what people can accomplish even against seemingly insurmountable odds when they work together. And that is what guides Freedom Federal Credit Union. It's that togetherness and the appreciation we have for our relationship, our partnership with you, our members, our community. That's what's driven us over the last 68 years and will drive us going forward. Together is how we do more. Together is how we succeed. Together is how we make a difference. And in keeping with the theme, together is how we emerge and stay strong. Freedom is founded on the principle of cooperation and people helping people. What that means simply is that the more people and businesses that are active and engaged with freedom, the more we can give back to you, the more we can do for you and our community. The very nature of freedom is working together for a common good. It's not about profit, it's about service. The other thing I think about these times is how I never really thanked my dad for his service. I mean, I was grateful for a lot of things over the years, but it never really dawned on me to thank him and let him know how much I appreciated the sacrifices he made, the risks he took during that time. And he did it simply because it was the right thing to do. My job, therefore, is to make sure that freedom, in whatever small way we can, shows its gratitude for you. Of course, today is about more than appreciation for those that served in times of war or conflict. It's about what you all do for our community and beyond. It's about your everyday contributions, your actions of respect, duty, honor, sacrifice, commitment. You serve us in countless ways, so it's only right that we serve you in return and in ways that let you know how valued you are and appreciated. So from Freedom Federal Credit Union, I want to say a very simple yet heartfelt thank you. And thank you too, Dad. Take care. God bless.
Next, we have our incredibly accomplished keynote speaker. The theme for this year's program is Emergence, Army Strong, and Dr. Singh shares a unique perspective through her journey in both the government and private sectors. Linda L. Singh is a retired Major General of the Maryland Army National Guard. She was appointed as the 29th Adjutant General of Maryland in January 21, 2015, responsible for the daily operations of the Maryland Military Department, which includes the Maryland Army National Guard, the Maryland Air National Guard, Maryland Emergency Management Agency, and Maryland Defense Force. She was a senior advisor to the Governor of Maryland and was responsible for the readiness, administration, and training of more than 6,700 members of the military department. As the Adjutant General, she served as the official channel of communication between the Governor and the National Guard Bureau, and served as a member of the Governor's Cabinet. She's retired on September 15, 2019. In January 2020, she joined Towson University as its inaugural Leader in Residence and served as Interim Director of TEDCO. Dr. Singh is the owner and CEO of Kaleidoscope Effect, LLC, which is a leadership consulting company that provides custom solutions for leaders and organizations using the experiential and conceptual learning approach based on business-oriented experiences. Kaleidoscope Effect partners with clients to create leader development that is aligned to the needs of the business, anchored to the business strategy, key business drivers, current leadership challenges, and company value. Without further ado, I present Dr. Linda Singh.
Good morning, everyone. And I want to say first, thank you so much for having me here this afternoon. And this is, I'm not going to say the first event that I've had since COVID started, because I've had a number of events, but this is probably the first one this year where I'm speaking and not just working. And so I want to say, it's good to be out. So thank you. And then for our service members, for those of you that are here in the room and those of you that are watching, the military is near and dear and close to my heart. And without the military, I wouldn't be who I am today. There's no way possible. And if you don't know the story, You know, I was homeless at the age of 17 on the streets, going from couch to couch, in some cases, not even couch to couch. And I ran into an amazing service member who said, you know, have you thought about joining the National Guard? And I'm like, I don't even know what the National Guard is. And I'm just like, no, I haven't. And I haven't thought about joining the military. And he's like, well, I think you should consider it. So what's interesting is that that service member seen a young lady at the time that not a lot of women were joining the military. And he's seen something. Obviously, it was a recruit, right? Because he had recruiting goals. But more importantly, as he got to know me, and I kind of put a challenge to him, is because in order for me to join the military at that time, I had to have my parents' signature because I was only 17. And I wasn't talking to my parents at that time. So he had a big task ahead of him. If he wanted to recruit, he had to go and get the signature. But then, you know, I wasn't really sure that it was even going to work out because I wasn't a high school graduate at that point. I had dropped out of high school. And so let me just tell you how fate works. First off, in Frederick County, Maryland, in the Francis Scott Key Mall, if you know where that is, this recruiter meets me. It was at a time where the window was open that I was able to join without a high school diploma. Go figure. He was able to get my parents to sign. And I left. So he got that signature in May of 1981. I went through and did my physical, my ASVAB, scored really, really well, because just because I was a high school dropout didn't mean I wasn't smart, right? There's another whole story there. Didn't mean I wasn't smart. I was an honor roll student. It's just sometimes when you have to take care of yourself, you have to work. And so then I found myself at that point going away to Fort Huachuca, going to Intel school. And unfortunately, I met another service member that I got married to and got pregnant. And so that school was so long, they said, you need to choose another school. So fortunately for me, I have an amazing daughter out of it, but that was not so much of a smart decision. But the fact that I joined the Maryland National Guard at that point as a private E1, this soldier that, you know, seen something that he wanted to continue to follow through and give me a chance. So now fast forward, I get the opportunity to become the adjutant general. Now here I am working for a large consulting company. I was at a very senior level. I had already done one deployment, actually 2 deployments by that point in time. I was running our Army account and then moved over to internal operations once I became a general officer, because I wanted to make sure there was no conflict of interest. So I decided to come out of the a client delivery role and move into operations. And it was, you know, it was a great move, because then I got a chance to work across the business and our state and local, our Department of Defense, our health practice. And then I get this opportunity. Now, I was being groomed for more senior positions, but I got this opportunity to lead the National Guard. That was a huge choice, but it became an easy answer, because once I interviewed with Governor Hogan, I walked out of there going, my God, I love this guy. I did not know him. I just loved his personality. I got on the phone with my husband and said, if he offers me the job, I'm going to take it. Now, what do we need to do to realign things? Because it's a big difference. And so I got the call. And to me, it was one of those things where I looked at it as a chance to give back to an organization that essentially saved me. Right? So the Army National Guard, and the Army at large saved me, because I don't know where I would have been if it wasn't for that recruiter, a soldier, that recruited me. Now, I never went back and looked at my enlistment papers. So I went through all of my things when I became the adjutant general, and this was, I was standing in my office, and my command sergeant major, my senior enlisted, him and I, we were talking, and he goes, well, ma'am, who was your recruiter? And I go, God, I don't remember. I have no idea. I don't remember who my recruiter was. I said, the only thing I can remember is it was this guy, he was young and he had these really light color, he had really light blue eyes. That's the only thing I could remember. I couldn't remember his name. And the only reason why I remembered his eyes is because I felt like, my God, I don't think I've ever seen eyes so blue, right, when I met this guy. So it's not that I had a crush on him or anything. It was just, his eyes were just so stunning. And so I'm like, I'm going to go and get my papers and I'm going to look and see who it is. And when I looked at my enlistment papers, I was stunned. I had worked with this individual for a number of years. Now my name had changed, right? So when you recruit, you don't always necessarily remember all of your recruits, especially if they've changed names quite a few times, right? So you lose track. But he was retired at that point. He was still supporting down at National Guard Bureau. I had someone track him down, and he retired as a sergeant major. I had worked with him on numerous boards. It's just crazy. He had done my officer packet, and I don't think it ever crossed his mind that I was the one that he recruited. And so I called him. And then when him and I talked, I just said to him, Sergeant Major Hefner, his name was Greg Hefner, were you ever a recruiter? And he goes, yes, ma'am, I was. I was a recruiter for about 6 months. And I go, were you a recruiter in Frederick, Maryland? He says, I was actually a recruiter in the Frederick Armory for about 3 months. Okay, you talk about fate, because he found me in that 3 months. And he goes, ma'am, why are you asking? He said, did I do something wrong? And I said, you did everything right. I said, you were my recruiter that put me in 1981. And he was silent. And then I could hear him tearing up. And I just said to him, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity. A young Black girl out of Frederick County. I want to thank you for saving my life. I want to thank you for an amazing career. And here I stand now as the 29th Adjutant General in Maryland, the Maryland National Guard, the first female to lead the organization, and it's all because of you. So to my service members out there, don't ever forget that you also, every single one of you are a recruiter, and every single one of you can light the pathway for someone like me. And I want to thank you for your service, because when I talk about it's to the core of my heart, that's because it is to the core of my heart. It is everything that I have lived for. And you have no idea how hard it is to have gone through the pandemic, to have gone through what we've seen happen in Washington, D.C., and not have my uniform on, standing there beside each and every one of you, serving our communities. But I still serve, just in different ways. And so some key things that I want you to remember is this whole thing of strength. What does strength really mean? It's the capacity to withstand great force or pressure. While the pandemic has been challenging for every single one of us, the ability to come out the other side and to withstand and come out as a community, to come out together, is strength. Leadership. So many of us have had to show leadership in so many different ways. So whether you're at home working and doing schoolwork, you're now playing, mom, dad, teacher, mentor, coach. You're having to play all the different roles. So leadership it's not always about a position. It's about a state of being. And so every one of us has a responsibility to be a leader within our sphere of influence, and sometimes even outside of that sphere of influence. Relentless. That's my call sign. Relentless 6 was my call sign, and I still use it. As a matter of fact, I'm getting ready to get a new tattoo, and I'm putting relentless right on my shoulder. Yes, because I can now. Showing or promising. It's no abatement of severity, intensity, strength, or pace, right? You keep up. Strength, pace, you keep going. I just did a 39-mile bike ride. It was my first ride of the season, and why did I let my friends talk me into it? It was in Cambridge, Maryland about 3 weeks ago. We picked the windiest day of the year to ride through the flattest. They were like, oh, it's flat, it'd be no biggie. I was like, yeah, I'm in pretty good shape. I can ride, you know, it was really 37.5 miles, 39 when you ride from where we were staying to the start location. It was windier than all get out. And I'm going to tell you, right at about mile 10, I looked at my husband and I go, honey, and excuse my language, I go, I got out of the military. I don't know why I'm out here doing this shit, right? Because this is miserable. And he goes, yeah, you're not kidding me. And then, you know, he had to stop because his legs were cramping and he's like, I got to stretch. And I go, okay. I said, you'll catch up to me because he rides pretty fast. And here I am, and the wind, I mean, it was coming. I mean, it didn't matter which way you were going. I don't know where the wind was coming from. It was open fields. I have no idea where the wind was coming from, but it was hitting us hard. And you want to talk about just being relentless and keeping one pedal moving while the wind's trying to, you know, my bike is pretty light. So I thought for sure I was going to be like Dorothy, you know, in the Wizard of Oz. The wind was going to pick me up and I was going to be in Kansas someplace before the end of the ride. And I'm riding. I get to the last rest stop. My husband's nowhere in sight. And I'm like really irritated, right? I'm like, he didn't catch up with me. I'm sure he's back there smoking and joking with somebody. Well, he couldn't catch up with me. He goes, you were gone. And I go, I was just going one pedal in front of the other. He goes, he said, I couldn't catch up with you. He said, the wind was just killing me, right? And so the fact that I just kept going because I made that commitment. No matter what, I had to be relentless. I was like, if I give up, then I'm not going to do another one of these rides. So I have to keep going. So it's about being relentless. And I kept my pace. I kept going. And I kept that strength, even though it was a miserable day until I could get to the beer. And then it was a really good day. So I say all of that because as servicemen and women, for those of you that work in these large companies, thank you. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for developing the best technologies, as I'm here in the Edgewood and APG area, for developing the best technologies that give us the most amazing solutions and capabilities to allow the military to do what they do. But your job doesn't end there. So for the service members that are getting ready to transition out, listen up. Number one, you can go and work for some of these amazing companies. And they truly are amazing, even though I obviously have the ones that I love. But when I think about the capabilities and the technologies, you just can't imagine. So if you can go and contribute back to any of those organizations to continue to provide that level of service, start looking at the jobs, start looking at what they offer. Looking at their recruiting process, getting out there. But if you decide that you want to become a business, make sure you look up the credit union here, right? All of our credit unions and banks and build relationships. But if you want to become a small business, then here are some numbers for you that I think you should stand up and pay attention to. There are 2.5 million small businesses owned by military veterans, 2.5 million. They employ more than 5 million people in the US worldwide. They generate revenue of $1.14 trillion. That's big numbers. Their annual payroll averages about 195 million. And they make up 9.5% of all U.S. businesses. So transitioning into a business is not easy work. But if you think about what you want your business to be, what your skills are, and what you bring, you can deliver awesome capabilities. You can contribute to the economy, and you can hire other veterans. And you can be part of that small business community that is delivering massive capability to the U.S. economy. So this is not false stuff. This is numbers that you can go out and see on the Small Business Administration site so that you can see how much our veterans contribute. And so my goal is to not only contribute to the economy, but more importantly, do great things, continuing to serve. And through that, I work with entrepreneurs, as I'm an entrepreneur myself, right? I'm out in the services business. I do strategy, leadership, technology. As a matter of fact, I'm looking at some technology for one of our federal clients down in DC, where I'm helping them to solve for a solution that they need and really a manual process that they need an automation system for, because technology is my background. Leadership is my passion. I'm continuing to develop programs for women. So leadership programs for women. If you think of what I'm doing with Towson University, it's focused on leadership. So those are my ways to be able to give back. And I sit on boards, right? So I'm on several boards, and 2 of those are with nonprofit entities, right? So I'm on the board of Harbor Bank. I'm on the board of Easter Seals here in the Maryland, DC area. And specifically, I like to focus in with them on our veterans and our mental health. And then I'm also on the board of Headstrong, which is solely focused on our veterans' mental health and getting them the treatment that they need. So you can continue to give back, but we need the large companies supporting the small companies and all of us supporting each other to get through, to be relentless together, to show that strength, to provide that leadership, and just to be forever standing tall. And that to me is how you stand Army strong. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Singh, for your inspiring remarks. I now welcome Pastor Williams from the Chosen Community Development Corporation to recognize our Gold Star mothers.
Thank you so much. What a wonderful, wonderful speech of inspiration and motivation. I would like to also echo the words of Mr. McPherson, that it's all about community. I would just like to share a few comments with you pertaining to the Chosen Community Development Corporation. It was founded rather in 2020. Over the past year, with the help of the Mount Zion Baptist Church and our partners, we also share our vision to meet both the immediate needs and mental and physical well-being to help families and individuals to build sustainable lives for generations to come. We work with the Maryland Food Bank. We distribute food to families, particularly for the past 2 months. We have provided drive-through vaccination clinics that are open to the public, and we are excited to announce the opening of the Vi Ripken Memorial Garden, as well in partnership with the Boys and Girls Club of Aberdeen. Many of our staff and volunteers are military veterans and are proud to participate in today's program. And now, I would like to present to you the Gold Star Mothers. A long-standing tradition of our appreciation program is to recognize our Gold Star Mothers. A Gold Star Mother is a mother who has lost a son or daughter during a time of war. The name came from the custom of hanging a banner called a service flag in the window of their homes. The service flag had a star for each family member in the U.S. Armed Forces. Living servicemen were represented by a blue star, and then those who had lost their lives were represented by a gold star. Today, we honor the Gold Star mothers and Gold Star families in attendance with us and want to share a brief video. Thank you.
Mom, I want to go in and to my surprise,
services very big. She wanted to make her mom proud.
And just be so happy. It's not. And to where he intended to be.
expected to come home.
Are we controlling the video here?
APG.
So just go ahead. A phrase that would
Same families, you know, and I see
I think of him every single day. Meet her, and I think so. We just need to let APG know that we're
us. We go there often.
my husband's memory will. He loved the military. Was about principle. He was about the soldier. Okay.
Go ahead.
You're good.
Thank you, Pastor Williams and the Chosen Community Development Corporation for the Gold Star Mothers sponsorship. We apologize for the technical difficulty. If you had trouble seeing the video, we will have that posted on the Harford County Chamber of Commerce website. We are honored to recognize the recipients of this year's Non-Commissioned Officer, NCO of the Year, and Soldier of the Year, sponsored by Chesapeake Bank of Maryland. The 2021 Soldier of the Year for Aberdeen Proving Ground is Specialist Zachary Bayer with the U.S. Medical Research Institute for Chemical Defense. And the 2021 Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year for Aberdeen Proving Ground is Sergeant Elizabeth Melendez, also with the U.S. Medical Research Institute of Chemical Defense. These two soldiers represent the Army's finest from the commands located at APG. The Non-Commissioned Officer, NCO, and Soldier of the Year competition recognizes soldiers who demonstrate commitment to the Army values, embody the warrior ethos, and represent the force of the future. Soldiers compete annually for the honor to be selected as the NCO and Soldier of the Year. The NCO and Soldier of the Year were awarded with an Army Commendation Medal for their excellent performance and accomplishments. In addition to these citations, the NCO and Soldier of the Year received checks donated by local businesses and organizations. Chesapeake Bank and APG Federal Credit Union, Battelle Eastern Science and Technology Center donated funds for uniform expenses. Dave Leonard and family have donated a sword to the NCO of the Year. And the Major General Harry Green Aberdeen chapter of the Association of the United States Army donated $100 gift cards to both of the winners, as well as a bald eagle framed photo by local photographer Jake Jenkins. Congratulations, Specialist Bear and Sergeant Melendez. On behalf of today's attendees and our defense community, we offer our heartfelt thanks and congratulations. Each year, the Harford County Chamber of Commerce Education Foundation awards a returning veteran scholarship. This scholarship is annually funded by APG Federal Credit Union. This year's returning veteran scholarship recipient is Tyler Walsh. Tyler is joining us remotely today and is currently attending University of Baltimore School of Law and enlisted in the Army in 2014 to spread his wings and take advantage of the GI Bill. His military career brought him to Harford County and Aberdeen Proving Ground. Congratulations to Tyler, and thank you to APG Federal Credit Union for your sponsorship of the Returning Veteran Scholarship. The APG FCU Board of Directors, senior leadership, and staff salute you for your service to our country and the desire to further your education. And while we're recognizing veterans in an educational aspect, I want to introduce you to Project Opportunity. Project Opportunity was founded on the concept of providing free entrepreneur training for veterans, active duty, reservist, and military spouses who wish to start or expand a small business. Project Opportunity offers entrepreneur training courses and free business counseling and coaching for the training program graduates. Project Opportunity offers professional development workshops and seminars for all veteran small business owners and refers to other agencies and organizations that can assist in the success of the veteran small business population within Maryland. Last night, the Harford County chapter celebrated the 10-week course completion for 8 veteran graduates. It was an incredible evening, listening to our local veteran entrepreneurs share their Project Opportunity experiences, business pitches, and valuable program lessons. Project Opportunity pledges to provide services free of charge and is committed to supporting small businesses within the veteran community. If your business is interested in sponsoring the Fall 2020-21 Harford County class, please contact Angela at the Harford Chamber. And now it's time to present the Major General John G. Appel Award. You can do that? Mm-hmm. Okay, and I'm going to turn that over to Angela.
So we're going off script for this. So if I can have Sue and Karen to my right, please, if you don't mind. Karen, I'm going to hand this to you. This is what you have to do when you have a surprise and the person is one of the speakers for today. So General Appel was a strong advocate for Aberdeen Proving Ground, our military, and Harford County. He served 2 terms on the Harford County Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, including serving as chair. This award is issued each year to a volunteer who has demonstrated a significant level of commitment to the community, the military, and to the Harford County Chamber of Commerce. The 2021 Appel Award recipient is extremely active in the community, serving on various nonprofit boards, and serves as the co-chair of this Military Affairs Committee. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Harford County Chamber of Commerce, I am pleased to announce that Sue Manning of Freedom Federal Credit Union is our 2021 Appel Award winner. So I think she knew, but we tried to keep it a surprise, so.
I was wondering where Sue Nappy was. They had a different person's name in this.
Yes, exactly. We had a different person's name in the script, and poor Sue didn't get the script this morning. So we were just letting her be blind as to the script. But congratulations, very much deserved. And if you would like to make a few comments, the podium is yours.
Well, thank you, Angela, and to all of the Military Affairs Committee. I was a bit suspicious when Sue Nappy did not show up this morning, because that's who I thought was going to receive this award. So I'm very honored. One thing that many of you may not know about me is that I grew up in an Army family. My dad served in the Army, and if you took a look at my birth certificate, you would see that I was actually born in Fort Jackson, South Carolina. So I was an Army brat in my early days, and I still admire and appreciate so much all that our armed forces do for us, and the greatest respect. So it's been my privilege to serve on the Military Affairs Committee, be a part of this event. It's been almost a decade now, and I've gotten so much from it. So thank you all. It's much appreciated. So we go on. Today's event is brought together by the talented volunteers who serve on the Military Affairs Committee. Your Military Affairs Committee is a permanent committee of the Harford County Chamber of Commerce and serves to connect the Harford County business community with the national treasure that is Aberdeen Proving Ground, and with the APG soldiers and civilians who work there. Our Military Affairs Committee oversees the annual Military Appreciation Event, and a growing list of other projects, such as Wreaths Across America. We decorate the grave sites at both the Edgewood and Aberdeen side of APG, Furnish Vets, Perry Point donation initiatives, and our Spirit of Thanks tours. In addition to our volunteers, our initiatives would not be a reality without our sponsors. And we offer sincere appreciation to today's sponsors: Freedom Federal Credit Union, that's my alma mater, APG Federal Credit Union, Battelle Eastern Technology, Chesapeake Bank of Maryland, Katz Abosh, Harford Community College, Harford County Office of Community and Economic Development, Jarrettsville Federal Savings and Loan, Army Alliance, Dave Leonard and Family, Elegant Restoration, the Major General Harry Green Aberdeen Chapter AUSA, Melnick and Wiseman, Service Engineering, and the Water's Edge Event Center, and of course the Chosen Community Development Corporation. Thank you for your support, especially this year, as we continue to navigate a new path to continue our 44-year tradition of recognizing our men and women at APG. In fact, today's Military Appreciation event has been combined in sponsorship to support our Spirits of Thanks event for this fall. We are pleased to announce an outdoor interactive event with our military and their families at Hopkins Farm Brewery in Havre de Grace on Tuesday, October 5th. We hope we'll see you all there between 4:30 and 7 p.m. Join us as we celebrate as a community our active military and their service to our nation. Food, beverage, and games will be available for all to enjoy. It's going to be wonderful to get together in person. And if you're interested in sponsoring the Spirit of Thanks event, please reach out to Angela.
Thank you to our guest speaker, Major General Retired Dr. Linda Singh. I really enjoyed your remarks today. Our elected officials in attendance with us here, as well as the numerous APG representatives who work closely with us to coordinate today's event. Finally, we appreciate your attendance today and for sharing this opportunity to thank those who serve and protect. Let us not forget that freedom is not free. Be safe, stay healthy. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's event. Thank you.